Hey friends, this is Jason, Chief Counsel for Equal Citizens. Now, I'm looking a lot fancier than usual today, and that's because I just got back from the federal courthouse in downtown Los Angeles, where we had the very first oral argument on any motion in our equal votes cases. Now, these are the cases that we hope are going to change the way the Electoral College works by getting rid of the silly winner-take-all system that most states use to allocate all of their electors to one single person, whoever got the most votes in the state. Now, the judge heard our arguments, heard the state, and didn't give us a decision quite yet. She took it under submission, and there's no deadline necessarily for us to get the decision, but we hope to get one in a few weeks or maybe a month or two, sometime this summer. But even without a decision, it was still so exciting to see these arguments in action. So let me tell you about a couple things that caught my eye. Okay, so first, I absolutely love seeing our lead counsel, David Boies, step to the podium and make these arguments. For those of you who don't know, David is one of the best and most prominent litigators in the country. He carries so much authority, and having him at the top of an incredible team that's really worked hard on this case from multiple major law firms around the country, just seeing that in action really showed what kind of credibility we have and what kind of serious challenge this really is. It's about time someone put that kind of credibility on the line for these cases. That's what we need, and that's what we're getting. Second, I absolutely loved it when David cited Bush v. Gore, which he did repeatedly. Now, as some of you know, Bush v. Gore, which was the case that the Supreme Court used to decide the presidential election in the year 2000, it's one of the cases that we are using to say that the legal landscape has changed since decades ago when the courts last even took any kind of look at this question. And that's because that case specifically applied one person, one vote equality principles to a presidential election and said every vote needs to have a meaningfully count equally. So the beauty of using that case is, and the beauty of invoking it in open court, is that David Boies, our lawyer, he knows that case particularly well, as he sort of subtly said in court. And that's because he was Al Gore's lawyer. So hearing him say that and take what I'm sure was a tough defeat back in 2000 and try to use it in court to make our country a better place by changing the Electoral College system just really put a smile on my face. Okay, third and finally, my other favorite part was that I really enjoyed being able to have the state try and answer some of our charges, right? Because they've got to stand up there too and answer these questions. Now, David, when he was arguing for our side, mentioned the obvious fact that no presidential candidate pays attention to California or any other safe red or blue state because of this silly winner-take-all system. Even though there are millions of votes here, candidates don't pay attention. And the state didn't dispute that. It can't. And so what it didn't say that we have a good system. It didn't even say we have a good system for California. It just said, this is the system we've got. This is the way we've been doing it. And it says that it complies with equal protection principles because it says it counts every vote equally. But our response is, in our system, you can't just count votes equally or nominally count votes equally. You actually have to do something with those votes. You can't just throw them away and give all of the electors to one particular candidate. And I don't think California had a really great answer to that, and they couldn't justify why they were allowed to throw away over 4 million votes for Donald Trump in 2016 and award all of its 55 electors to Hillary Clinton. Okay, so that's a brief summary, but now we wait. Of course, you probably guessed that we won't be sitting on our hands just waiting for this decision. We've got lots more work to do. We've got 3 more cases around the country. We've got oral arguments in them and more briefs, potentially appeals. And we're, of course, working to get the word out and make people understand how the Electoral College is broken and how winner-take-all is really the root of this problem. But that said, we can at least say it was really great to get the first crack at the podium of many and to get a start at making our arguments in open court. Thank you so much for your support along this ride. It was a really fun day. There'll be more like this to come.